Hello, good evening from Bangalore. Welcome to Attakkalari Culture Port and the episode 1 of Dance on Film series, an initiative mooted by InKo Centre and co-presented with the Korean National Contemporary Dance Company to showcase short dance films by some of the most eminent Korean choreographers. I'm Jayachandran Palazhy, Artistic Director of Attakkalari Centre for Movement Arts, Bangalore. I will be moderating the event after the screening of the film. Today is episode 1 of the series, which features an innovative film, Beyond Black. This short film is compelling attempt to blend artificial intelligence algorithms by Madi, Korea's first dancing AI, invented by media art group 𝐒𝐜𝐵, with a movement of 8 dancers choreographed by Shin Changho. The film screening will be immediately followed by a panel discussion, Talking Dance, on screen, curated and hosted by Attakkalari Centre for Movement Arts, where we interact and engage with the Korean team behind the film and understand their process better over a steaming cup of coffee. If you are at the live event at Attakkalari in Bangalore, we would love if our online audience can also grab a cup of coffee or tea or any other drink of your liking as well. The panelists for the discussion following the film are Shin Changho, choreographer of Beyond Black; Jaemin, technical designer and a member of 𝐒𝐜𝐵; Ahram Gwak, producer, Korean National Dance Company; Hoyeon Kim, the translator from Korean National Dance Company; and Gitanjali Rao, writer, director of animation films, Mumbai, India. The discussion will be moderated by me. Now I would like to thank InKo Centre and 𝐿𝙖𝙣𝙘𝙗 Jaffar particularly for this evening's presentation. InKo Centre and its director 𝐿𝙖𝙣𝙘 Jaffar is actively involved in promoting collaborations, exchanges and partnerships between artists and arts organizations of Korea and India, thus offering rich artistic and cultural contributions to both societies and enhancing mutual awareness and appreciation. I am ever so grateful to InKo Centre and its illustrious director 𝐿𝙖𝙣𝙘 Jaffar for nurturing and encouraging the incredible partnerships we have managed to forge with the Korean artists and arts organizations so that we can present some of the best dance works from Korea to Indian audiences. About Korea National Contemporary Dance Company. Established in 2010, the Korea National Contemporary Dance Company, or KNCDC, is Korea's only national contemporary dance company. As an organization that specializes in the creation of new production, KNCDC seeks to realize diverse contemporary values in dance performances. KNCDC commissions productions by inviting choreographers with authentic artistic directions by selecting the most suitable dancers for each project. Furthermore, by protecting the rights of the artist, KNCDC enables artists to freely express individuality within the dance company's stable system. KNCDC continues to provide the best environment for dance where artists and audience can grow together, and it's a platform where artists and audience meet. The company hopes to form a healthy ecosystem with the diverse values can coexist. About Attakkalari Centre for Movement Arts. Attakkalari Centre for Movement Arts, Bangalore, is India's premier contemporary dance organization working in the realm of education, training, research, choreography, productions, performances, festivals, and stage technologies. Invested in inclusive and ecologically conscious dance practices, holistic education, collaborations, and transdisciplinary exchanges, Attakkalari has developed strategic partnership with the education institutions, arts organizations, and many other individual artists in India and internationally. Attakkalari produces the Attakkalari India Biennial, South Asia's most important festival on contemporary dance, whose next edition is scheduled for December 2021 to February 2022, particularly over the weekends. Now, in a minute, we are seeing over to the InKo Centre site where you can watch Beyond Black. Welcome back. I'm Jayachandran Palazhy, Artistic Director of Attakkalari Centre for Movement Arts, Bangalore. We now straight away go to the panel discussion to reflect on the movie Beyond Black. To do that, with me, we have an eminent panel, including the producer of the movie, Ahram Gwak from the KNCDC, choreographer Shin Changho, technical director Jaemin, also from 𝐒𝐜𝐫𝐞𝐴, Gitanjali Rao, writer, director, animation filmmaker from Mumbai, and Hoyeon Kim, translator from KNCDC. I'm ever so grateful to InKo Centre for its illustrious director, Rati Jaffer, for nurturing and encouraging the incredible partnerships we have managed to forge with Korean artists and arts organizations so that we can present some of the best works from Korea for Indian audience. And I'm also thankful to Ahram Gwak and Hoyeon Kim. Ahram is the chief producer, programming and production team of the Korean National Contemporary Dance Company for bringing these works to India. And Hoyeon Kim will be our translator today. Now let me introduce the other panelists. Choreographer Shin Changho. Shin Changho is known for his creative productions that are full of powerful energy and often oscillates between the present and future. His new work, Beyond Black, is an example of this. He has worked as part of professional dance companies, many dance companies in Europe. When he was a student of School of Dance in Korea National University of Arts, Shin was selected as a member of the transition dance company of Trinity Laban. In UK, he was one of the founding members of LDP Dance Company and served as the representative of LDP for 6 years from 2009. His signature works, No Comment and Platform, were included within the repertoire of ballet company TLT Innsbruck, the first for a Korean choreographer's work in a European ballet company. From 2012 to 2017, he was invited as a guest choreographer for this company as well. His major choreographies include No Comment, Parallel Life, Long Slow Distance, It Is My Life, Platform, and Eye to Eye Contact. Shin is a professor of the Department of Dance Performance, School of Dance at Korea National University. Let me ask Kim. Let me go to other panelists as well. Jaemin is a media artist and a director and seeks its meaning and perception produced a boundary between art and technology. Aesthetics arise in the process of convergence. He is currently a member of the media art group 𝐒𝐜𝐫𝐞𝐴, where he mainly works on exhibitions and performances related to AI. Gitanjali Rao is the writer and director of Bombay Rose, an animation feature film that opened the Venice Critics Week 2019, followed by Toronto IFF, Busan IFF, Macau IFF, Marrakesh IFF, etc. Her debut feature film has since been over 50 international festivals in 2019 and 2020. The film won 7 awards, including the Silver Hugo at the 53rd Chicago Film Festival and Silver Gateway at MAMI, Mumbai International Film Festival, and available on Netflix. Her animated short film, Printed Rainbow, won 3 awards, Cannes Critic Week 2006. The film made it to the Oscar shortlist in 2008 and won 25 awards. her animated short film, which has been over to 150 international film festivals and received more than 30 awards. Her latest short animation film, Tomorrow My Life, was premiered in August at 74 Locarno Film Festival 2021. Her body of work includes animated commercials, pre-production for animated features, logo motions, as well as graphic novels and illustrated stories. She has been part of the jury for several international film festivals as well. Now, my first question today is to Ahram. Ahram, I gather Beyond Black was supposed to be a stage production. What prompted you to make into a screen dance work?
Hello. First of all, thank you so much for having Beyond the Black and this invitation. And I am very honored and very happy, and the Korea National Contemporary Dance Company, and we are very happy to introduce the Beyond the Black and meet with Indian audience and professional dance people. And yes, I think the Beyond the Black was a result of the COVID-19 actually. We, Korean National Contemporary Dance Company, and choreographer Shin, and our plan was to make a stage performance, as Jai already explained, and our plan was to make the Beyond the Black as a form of a lecture performance. But in November or December 2019, and we started discussing the concept of work, and Shin and his creative staff, including Jaemin, and they already had some progress on this matter. So actually, when I heard about the AI choreography, and I was so excited and getting more and more expected. And also the rehearsal with the dancers was started from the January 2020. And but as we all know, the most people didn't care about the COVID too much at the time. So and we thought that it will be gone soon and can come back to normal, you know. But as the situation was very different with our expectation, and so we had to delay the premiere on April to be scheduled, but to June, but still couldn't open the studio at the time. Uh, Actually, to make a new production, we needed at least 5 weeks for the with the dancers, but the COVID-19 was getting severe and the restriction was very expanded, you know. So we had to finally transform the direction from stage to the screen. So we have the Beyond the Black as a result, but honestly, we were late at the time and we didn't have enough time, and also we didn't have enough experience, and also we didn't have much connection with the film industry. So uh, we had to take a risk, and yes, we had to challenge, you know. So I think that when I at the time was quite confusing, and everything was so fast, and the scene and also our production staff was quite uh, complicated, and also very was not easy. But when we decide to make a filming, and then we had to look for the film people, and we had to choose which way would be suitable for Beyond the Black, you know. So Shin and our company were considering what kind of what kind of filming would be good for Beyond the Black. So as a result of our not too long, but the quite complicated procedure, we made this Beyond the Black. So I think the Shin will explain more detailed thing later, but the background of Beyond the Black, yes, that was quite urgent and quite risky and challenging trial for the company and also choreographer. So
Hey, thank
maybe
you.
I will, yeah.
That's wonderful. Actually, I'm glad that you were standing up for the dancers and taking that risk and venturing into new directions. And let me turn to now Shin Changho, the choreographer. I just wanted to ask you 2-3 questions. You can combine the answer. What prompted you to venture into making the work like this, which Ahram answered a little bit. Can you briefly say what was the artistic processes that were involved and how you went about realizing them? What are the aesthetic concerns? Are there any reason for not having any lift or contact work that we normally see in a contemporary dance performance? And what are the challenges you face? I know there are a little bit too many questions, but I thought to save time, I will put all of that to you so that you can seamlessly answer them. Over to you, Changho.
First of all, thank you for inviting us, and I'd like to speak Korean, then I can explain more like a complete, all the things is quite complicated, so better to speak Korean, so please understand. 네, 호연 씨 부탁드릴게요. 처음에 이 작품을 만들게 된 계기를 먼저 말씀드리면, 비욘드 블랙은 제가 이제 처음에 3부작으로 만들었던 그 프로젝트 중에 하나인데, 그 ICT를 접목하는 그 기술과 예술 프로젝트 3부작 중 하나라고 먼저 설명드리면 될 것 같아요.
So first of all, Beyond Black was one of the trilogy I was working on. So I was working on building up a trilogy of converging art and technology.
네, 첫 번째 작품이 이제 VR과 현실의 조화를 먼저 다루는 작품이었고, 두 번째는 인간을 흉내내는 딥페이크라는 그런 기술을 기반했던 작품이고, 이 세 번째가 AI 무용수 마디가 안무했던 동작을 다시 인간이 제작해서 공연한 3부작 시리즈로 이루어져 있어요.
So the trilogy consists of, well, obviously 3 pieces. The first piece was about virtual reality and actual reality. The second piece was about the deep, we kind of dwelled in deepfake technology, which mimicked the human being. And the third is Beyond Black, which we used our artificial intelligence Maddie to choreograph, and then our dancers had to learn the choreography back from the AI technology.
네, 그래서 처음에 이 비욘드 블랙을 정확하게 이제 만들게 된 계기는 이제 AI가 도래할 미래 무용은 또 어떻게 수용되고 어떻게 변화돼야 될지에 대한 생각으로부터 출발했다.
So the first, how we started Beyond Black is about our questions about the future in dance. When AI comes into our life, how we should perceive that and how we should work with that system.
네, 그다음 두 번째 질문으로는 이 컨템포러리 예술의 특징이 뭐 변화에 항상 적응해야 되고 수용해야 되는 그런 장르 아트인데 AI와 인간이 만들어낼 새로운 장르에 대한 도전으로 시작됐던 것 같아요.
So to move on to your second question about the aesthetic point of views we had to have, is contemporary arts is always about adjusting to changes and new ways. So as for Beyond Black, it was about experimenting new relations and how we could move with AI and human relations in terms of art and technology.
네. 그래서 AI가 만들어낼 이 인공미를 인간은 또 어떻게 받아들일지에 대한 그런 고민이었던 것 같습니다.
So it was also a question about how humans would perceive the future that AI would develop in the social terms.
네. 그리고 네.
And could you tell me about my question, which was about the ideas of contact work, the ideas of lift or emotional content, those kind of things. You think AI can work on those things, or do you think it is beyond the AI's capacity to learn those ideas?
이게 처음에 무용수 마디라는 그 존재 자체는 실제로 뭐 감정을 표현하거나 어떤 이 움직임 무용 자체를 만드는 건 아니거든요. 사실 이 점과 선의 움직임의 조합일 뿐이거든요. 그래서 이 조합을 2 디멘션을 어떻게 인간이 3 디멘션으로 재해석하는 그런 학습의 과정이었어요. 그래서 네, 여기까지 먼저 해석 부탁드릴게요.
So first, Maddie was actually not programmed to develop any emotions or dance itself. It was more about it wasn't able to express emotions, and we wouldn't call it dance. It's more of a combination of dots and lines moving. So the key process of this work was how the dancers and as a choreographer will depict the 2-dimensional movement into our 3-dimensional movement. So this is the first part of explaining about the answer to your question, and then.
Okay, so Kim, is it possible, for example, to have individuated relationships? Now, most of the choreography seems to be either a one person or a group. So you envisage there might be a possibility of individual reactions to each other, so that you have a little bit more complexity. I remember working with telematic performances where the sound was reacting to the movement. This was in the early 2000s in Arizona State University and Middlesex University in London. So there, the issue was when the sound was reacting, it was actually each and every data you provide, either the sound will be louder or more complex or shrink. So it was a direct relationship instead of the nuances human beings are able to do. What is your feeling about these ideas of nuanced human interaction with the AI?
So would this be a question to Kim?
I'm saying that I remember when I was working with interactive sound, the nuanced interaction between our movement and the sound produced by our movement was difficult. And I wonder whether when we use in terms of choreography or motion capture and putting it into a choreography, this nuanced approach which human beings are capable of, do you think AI will be able to slowly master that?
이거는 자이님께서 직접 작업을 전에 사운드 인터랙션 작업을 진행하신 적이 있는데요. 저희 모션 캡처를 해서 사운드 인터랙션 프로젝트를 했었을 때 가장 한계라고 느꼈던 부분은 어떤 인간의 뉘앙스 같은 것들을 센싱을 못하고 좀 되게 다이렉트한 것들만, 직설적인 부분들만 센싱할 수 있었다는 부분인데, 이번에 이 마디를 통해서 안무를 하면서 AI가 딥러닝을 통해서 천천히 감정이랄지 아니면 그런 인간의 묘한 뉘앙스랄지까지 표현이 가능하거나 학습이 가능할까라는 질문을 주셨습니다. 그래서 이거는 김재민 감독님이나 신장호 선생님 두 분 중에 이렇게 대답을 해주시면 될 것 같아요.
움직임 부분이니까 제가 먼저 설명을 드릴게요. 움직임 부분 같은 경우는 처음에는 인간이 행동을 따라서 할 수 없을 정도의 그 관절 신체 구조를 보여줬거든요. 근데 학습 시간이 길어지면 길어질수록 그 움직임 소스를 제공했던 무용수의 그 순간적인 버릇 동작이나 뭐 약간 무용수들 특징이 드러나는 그런 특징적인 움직임들이 나타나기 시작하더라고요. 그래서 그렇다 보면 나중에 이제 학습이 계속 길어질수록 그 무용수의 특징뿐만 아니라 그 무용수가 어쨌든 움직임으로 표현하는 뭐 감정적인 상태 아니면 뭐 어떤 뭐 이모션까지도 나타날 수 있을 거라고 생각은 해요. 그다음 질문이
네. So as it is about movement, Mr. Shin has answered first. So while we experimented with MADI, we figured that at the first stage of its learning, it made movements that was impossible to follow as human beings with the physical body. But as it learned the dancer's movement, it slowly started to express habits and characteristics of each individual dancers. And we think and we expect that if this learning process takes longer, it might be able to depict the specific emotion statuses of the dancers as well.
Thank you so much, Shin Changho, for that. And it's wonderful to hear that that idea. I remember seeing biped by this was I don't know, a decade or more ago, by Merce Cunningham. Then he was also transferring the motion captured movement to animated images, and there also this idea of abstraction was creating some problem for him as well. Now let me try to understand from Kim Jaemin about the process involving MADI. You know, I know it is an AI system and you are a part of this slit scope, and also in the Korean International Arts School, the Seoul International Arts School. So what was the process of MADI and how did you use motion capture or and other technological and devices to capture the movement, process it, and organize it? And how you think the capacity of the system to probably generate emotion and some kind of aesthetic message. Over to you, Kim.
네, 김재민 감독님께 드리는 질문인데요. 기본적으로 마디를 하시면서 이번에 비욘드 블랙에서 슬릿스코프에서 참여하시기도 하셨고, 서울예술대학교에서도 지금 이런 프로젝트들을 AI 기반으로 많이 하고 계신데, 실제 마디의 모션 캡처 그 기술적인 프로세스랑 어떤 것들을 이용해서 모션 캡처했고 이런 데이터들이 어떻게 관리되고 축적됐는지까지도 좀 기술적으로 궁금한 부분이 있고요. 또 신창호 쌤께서도 앞에서 감정에 대해서 말씀해 주셨지만 김재민 감독님의 관점에서는 마디의 향후 어떤 예술적인 발전 가능성 혹은 감정에 대한 발전 가능성에 대한 감독님의 견해는 어떠신지 궁금합니다.
반갑습니다. 일단 질문이 크게 두 가지가 들어왔는데요. 두 번째 질문부터 답하는 게 맥락이 좀 맞을 것 같아가지고 두 번째 질문부터 답을 드리면, 우선 저희가 처음에 이 마디를 만들 때 춤을 잘 추는 인공지능을 만들려고 그러지 않았어요. 어떻게 보면 인공지능 춤이 어떤 의도나 감정을 담고 있지 않고 아까 안무자님도 얘기한 것처럼 그냥 점과 선의 어떤 반복된 패턴, 움직일 뿐이고 어떻게 보면 그냥 텅 빈 몸짓이다, 이렇게 볼 수 있습니다.
So I think it would be better to answer your second question first. As Shin said, as mentioned as well, when we first built MADI, we didn't intend to make a technology that could dance well. So it doesn't have any intentions, it doesn't have any emotions, it's just an empty movement of repetitive patterns organized with dots and lines.
근데 저희가 마디라고 하는 이름을 붙일 때 저희가 어떻게 보면은 인공지능 제작에 어떤 의도가 담겨 있는데요. 이 마디라고 하는 게 우리말로, 순우리말로 뼈랑 뼈가 맞닿는 부분, 그런 의미를 가지고 있고요. 무언가가 이렇게 연결된다는 의미를 갖고 있는데, 인간과 인공지능이 연결할 수 있다는 의미에서 그런 어떻게 보면은 바램을 담아가지고 붙여진 이름입니다. 근데 마디라고 하는 게 MDN 기반의 그 Artificial Dancing Intelligence라고 이제 이름이 붙여졌는데요. 그 MDN이라고 하는 거는 굉장히 기술적인 용어거든요. 그래서 어떻게 보면은 이 마디에게 어떤 가치 중립적인 어떤 의미들을 부여하기 위해서 이런 이름이 붙여졌다 말씀드립니다.
So if we look in the origin of the name of Madi, it has two meanings. The first meaning is Madi in Korean means the joints between the bones. So it is actually connections. So we thought it expresses our hopes of the relations of how we can have connections between AI and humans. The second meaning is a very technical term. So if you see the abbreviation of Madi, it also stands for MDN-based artificial dancing intelligence, which MDN is a very technological term. This also means how much neutral it is as a value. So how much, yes, so if you look at the origin of the meaning of the name, you can see what our intentions were.
결국에는 우리가 보는 대상이 고정되어 있는 게 아니라 그 해석에 따라 변하기 때문에 저희는 이제 이 작업을 통해서 어떻게 보면 굉장히 가치 중립적인 어떤 그런 기호의 예술이라고 하는 걸 통해 가지고 그 영혼을 불어넣는 작업을 시도한 것이고요. 사실은 관객들 입장에서는 이제 어떻게 보느냐의 문제는 결국에는 춤이라고 하는 게 뭔지, 우리가 정의하는 춤이 뭔지, 우리가 정의하는 예술이 뭔지 그런 것들에 대해서 이제 관객들이랑 같이 고민해보자는 의미에서 이제 작업들을 계속 붙들고 간 것 같습니다.
So the subject itself is not fixed, so we don't have like specific intentions of this program and technique, but what we wanted to have is a very neutral, value neutral form of signing, like a signifier. And so through art, we would breathe in soul to this neutral concept, and from the audience, it will be the audience who will decide or maybe think and talk about what it is and what dance is and what art is fundamentally through their own through their own interpretations to this neutral.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I think you have touched upon a very important aspect of working with the technology, which is putting on these two caps. One is about practicality and trial and error. The other one is about imagination. You know, when you are creating a choreography, you have an imagination about what the ideas, what your image is going to be, and then you work towards that over and over again. When you work with the technology, I often find that while you have the imagination as to what you want to do, but you need to be very much aware of the technical, practical issues as well. How that negotiation between Changho and Kim and the dancers was happening. Maybe either of you can answer that.
두 분 중에 아마 대답 편하신 분이 해주시면 될 것 같은데요. 질문이 지금 이제 오늘 저희 대화 통해서 사실 예술과 기술이 협업을 할 때 일어나는 가장 중요한 두 가지 포인트가 지금 얘기가 되고 있는 것 같은데, 첫 번째는 이제 끊임없이 상상하는 예술적인 분야에서 상상이 끊임없이 일어나는 것이고, 상상을 끊임없이 일어나는 과정에서 기술과 일을 할 때 실제적으로 되게 실용적인 부분, 기술적인 부분을 고민할 수밖에 없고, 이 두 가지에 대해 협업이 일어날 때 어떤 협의들이 오갔는지, 그게 비욘드 블랙 제작 과정에서 신창호 선생님, 그리고 김재민 감독님, 그리고 무용수 분들이 이 예술적인 상상과 어떤 이 실용적인 실제 기술적인 부분들에 대해서 협의가 어떻게 오갔고 어떤 협업들이 협상이 됐는지 궁금합니다.
김재민 감독님이 먼저 대답하시겠습니까?
그러니까 결국에는 그 예술과 기술 이 관계 속에서 이 기술이라고 하는 거를 어떤 관점과 태도로 바라보느냐가 굉장히 중요한 것 같고요. 사실 예술에 활용되는 기술들이 표면적으로는 굉장히 메커니즘적이고 어떤 구현적인 것들, 구현적인 방식들을 요구하지만 사실 역사적으로 볼 때는 동전의 양면과 같은 존재여가지고요. 기술 자체도 어떻게 보면은 어떤 새로운 것을 창작하고 발견하기 위한 태도로 접근하는 게 굉장히 이제 중요하다고 생각을 합니다. 그래서 그런 관점에서 봤을 때 공동 창작을 하는 데 있어서 같이 하는 창작자가 기술을 단순히 좀 이렇게 도구적인 관점에서 접근하는 게 아니라 기술이라고 하는 것이 어떻게 보면 창작자의 어떤 예술적인 인식을 확장하고 그리고 어떤 새로운 형식들을 제시한다는 어떤 그런 열린 관점에서 바라보는 게 중요하다고 생각합니다.
So when we work with art and technology, and if we think of the relations, I think it's important to think of what kind of attitude and what kind of point of view we have to have, especially when we see technology from the artistic view. On the surface, we can see and we experience that when we work with technology, we have to be very mechanical and practical in our thoughts. But if we think it differently, and also historically, art and technology is something, two different sides of a coin. It's the relationship is like that. I see it like that. So if artists, when artists work with technicians, rather than looking at technology as something, as just a tool, maybe we could approach, I think it would be important to approach technology as something to expand our awareness of art and a way to discover new forms of artistic values.
One last question about the technology. The motion capture device you used, was it a motion capture suit, or is it sensors or video cameras from different angles, or this infrared, or what was the device you used?
굉장히 기술적인 질문인데요. 마지막 기술적인 질문 드리려고 하는데, 실제로 모션 캡처 하실 때 수트를 사용하셨는지, 센서를 사용하셨는지, 카메라를 사용하셨는지, 이런 실제로 어떤 기기를 통해서 모션 캡처 하셨는지 궁금합니다.
일단 8명의 무용수의 그 움직임 데이터를 크로마키로 이제 촬영을 했고요. 그리고 어떤 모션 캡처 장비를 사용한 건 아니고 오픈 포즈라고 하는 움직임을 추적해주는 API를 이용해 가지고요. 모션 데이터를 추출했습니다.
So first we had 8 dancers, which we captured the movements through chroma key filming. And then we didn't use any suits or sensing equipment. We used an API, a detective API called OpenPose. So that was the basic process.
So it was chroma key green. Yeah. Okay. Great. So now I wish to bring the filmmaker, animation artist, writer Gitanjali Rao. I know, Gitanjali, you use very particular editing strategies in your animation movies. Instead of the normal crossfade or dissolve or jump cut, you pan the camera. And how you treat the movement in the editing process while creating animated work and also retaining the humanized sensibilities. And it's a very unique approach. And I think sometimes you purposefully go into a low tech, and which is exciting, and to the way it humanizes. Over to you, Gitanjali.
Thanks, Jayachandran. And I would first like to congratulate all of you for making Beyond Black during the time of the lockdown, because as an artist, I understand it is very difficult. And what you have done is gives a lot of hope to other artists. So on that note, my work, since I do 2D animation, especially after listening to Kim and Shin, it's very similar because it's very technological. In a way, it is very mechanical. You have to draw every frame. And from the drawings, you have to create, by choreographing the drawings, by moving the drawings, you need to create emotion. So I understand very well that at some point, motion and the way it is created by the human body, whether it is through AI or in our case, whether it is through drawings, it is created from something which is artificial, from something which is lifeless. And I think that is how it connects your work. So for me, it's very interesting because I also create movement out of nothing, out of experiences of other people of the animators. And I find it fascinating that you're using artificial intelligence to create this kind of movement, which is then embodied by real people. I'll let Kim translate before I go on to the next point.
네, 우선 저는 이제 뭄바이에서 애니메이션 제작하고 있는데요. 일단 앞에서 모더레이터님께서 그 실제 작품에서 굉장히 특이하게 편집 기술이 독특하고 그 움직임이 굉장히 좀 인간적인 면모를 많이 띠는 거에 대해서 언급을 해주셨습니다. 그래서 대답으로는 우선 그 팬데믹 시기에 되게 희망적 이런 작업을 해 되게 많은 예술가들에게 희망을 주는 그런 작업이었던 것 같아서 그런 부분에 대해서 축하와 존경을 이미 말씀드리고요. 이제 개인적으로 저는 2D 애니메이션을 하고 있기 때문에 이번 그 움직임을 어떻게 기술적으로 만들어낸다는 거에 대해서 비욘드 블랙과 작업에 어떤 그런 공통점이 있을 수도 있겠다고 생각을 했습니다. 저 같은 경우도 어떤 생명력이 없는 것에서부터 움직임을 만들어내고 그것을 통해서 좀 인간적인 감정이 드러나도록 하는 표현을 하는 게 저의 작업인데 이제 아무것도 없는 것에서 움직임을 만들어내는 사람으로서 이번에 비욘드 블랙에서는 실제로 사람의 움직임을 통해서 그게 또 AI를 통해서 움직임을 만들어낸다는 것이 굉장히 흥미롭게 느껴졌습니다.
And I also, as a filmmaker, find it very interesting that what we are doing is the reverse of the traditional form of puppets, where you have people who are alive and they are moving something which does not have life. And here, what you are doing is a reverse. You are taking something which does not have life by itself and making it create movement by people who are alive. And it's interesting to say here that some of the movement created by the AI is impossible to generate by the human dancers. And therefore, the negotiation between the two, where you come with something that is common. I also feel movement is, as in my film, as in dance, is one part of creating the emotion. There is also music, there is also pace, there is also the stage, the way the audience is reacting. And again, what is interesting in seeing a virtual representation of Beyond Black is that the audience also can move along with the point of view of the audience, because of the camera, moves as well as the dancers, which does not happen in stage. So this for me is very interesting, where dance and cinema come together, and something as mechanical as artificial intelligence choreographing it. I see a future in a lot of young people who might be in animation, maybe in cinema, looking at artificial intelligence with something like this, and wanting to research more, wanting to start a discussion, the interest of an artist who wants to create a film in through movement in using artificial intelligence. Your work brings it closer, brings a kind of link, and to explore further. So that is very positive part of Beyond Black.
Gitanjali, you want to translate?
Okay, yes. 그래서 또 이제 비욘드 블랙을 보면서 되게 흥미로웠다고 느꼈던 거는 실제 굉장히 전통적인 인형극은 원래 사람들이 생명이 없는 거를 움직이는 건데 비욘드 블랙에서는 그거를 좀 반대로 생각하면은 생명이 없는 존재가 생명이 있는 사람들을 움직이게 한다는 거에 대해서 또 흥미롭게 생각을 했던 것 같아요. 그래서 또 흥미로웠던 지점은 처음에 말씀하실 때 AI가 만들어내는 움직임을 실제 사람의 몸으로 따라할 수 없는 부분도 있었다는 것도 굉장히 흥미롭고 새로운 지점이었던 것 같고요. 움직임은 감정을 어떤 작업에 만들어내는 굉장히 여러 요소들 중에 일부라고 생각하는데요. 또 특히 이게 저희가 공연이 아니라 영화로 옮겨졌을 때 관객이 극장에서 한 곳에 고정되어 있지 않고 카메라 시점으로 같이 무용수와 움직일 수 있었다는데 그 가상현실의 어떤 가능성과 이런 흥미로움을 좀 느낄 수 있었던 것 같고 또 이런 작업들이 실제로 저희 애니메이션이나 영화 분야에 있는 젊은 세대의 예술가들이 AI를 통해서 움직임을 더 만들어내는 거에 대한 연구와 리서치를 더 하고 싶어 할 것 같은데 비욘드 블랙과 같은 시도 덕분에 이런 시도들과 연구들이 더 가까워질 수 있을 것이라고 생각합니다.
Thank you. So what also interesting for me was actually when the intersection between the live action and the kind of imaginary film projections and things like that. When the camera goes behind the screen or somebody runs to be behind the stage, that kind of similarity. I remember when we can treat machine created movement and humanly created movement, if we can somehow synergize them at least in some sections of the movie, then you are transported to a new kind of reality, a new kind of realm, and which Gitanjali was touching upon. And actually the perspective, either the audience himself or herself is moving along with the camera, and that this is a kind of new empathy in a way. What do you say? Ahram, you want to say anything about so far the discussion what we are having? Anybody can pick up this.
호연 쌤, 제가 질문을 잘 이해했는지 한번 잠깐 통역해 주시겠어요?
네.
Sorry,
그래서
yeah.
지금 이제 AI와 인간의 움직임이 같이 가는 것도 있었지만 또 이게 영화로 넘겨왔을 때 저희가 라이브로 움직이는 무용수들의 모습이 있었고 또 이제 훨씬 애니메이션적이거나 프로젝션 통해서 움직이는 부분이 있었어요. 그래서 이런 기계적인 움직임과 인간적인 움직임들이 만났을 때 그게 꼭 AI가 아니더라도 좀 새로운 현실을 만들어낸다는 거에 대해서 좀 그런 가능성을 봤던 것 같은데, 또한 관객이 아까 앞에서도 언급됐듯이 관객의 관점이 카메라와 함께 더 내부적으로 더 움직일 수 있었다는 데 있어서 저희가 무용을 영화로 옮겨왔을 때 그런 효과들이 있는 것 같아요. 그래서 여기 계신 여러분들 중에 혹시 이거에 대해서 조금 더 얘기를 같이 의견을 나눠주시거나 이럴 수 있는 분이 계실지. 네.
쌤 먼저 하시겠어요? 제가 얘기할까요?
제가 그럼 간단하게 설명을 드릴까요? 네. 네, 처음에는 이 무용 작품이라는 게 이 어떤 스테이지라는 공간 안에서 제한될 수밖에 없는 공간에서 움직일 수밖에 없는데, 이 영화 필름으로 제작되면서 이 공간의 확장이 확실히 달라진 것 같거든요. 이제 뭐 깊이라든가 아니면 공간을 계속 이 중간 장면에서 뭐 미로를 계속 헤매든 그런 장면들이 나오는데, 이 공간을 계속 왜곡시키면서 이렇게 이동할 수 있는 그런 필름적인 요소들이 조금 더 추가되면서 이 가상 공간에서 또 한 단계 더 가상의 공간으로 더 넘어가는 그런 장면들도 나왔던 것 같습니다.
So a dance piece as a performance originally, actually, if we think about having it on stage, it can be quite limited in terms of space. But if we, as you have mentioned, if we take this into a film, we can actually we really felt the expansion of the space in terms of depth. And also in film, we have scenes like going through mazes, scenes like as the dancers go through something like mazes, and we can expand and also change and change the angles of the space. So through this, we can create, as you said, a new virtual reality inside a virtual reality. So I think it does give those possibilities when we take dance into film, not on stage.
네, 그리고
네.
팀장님 이야기하세요.
먼저 얘기하세요.
네. 그리고 이 리얼리티를 위해서 하나 저희가 이제 생각했던 게, 무용 공간에서는, 무대에서는 무용수들이 뭐 쉴 수 없거나 아니면 그 공간을 다 채워야 되는데, 그래서 저희가 선택했던 그 장면 중 하나가 원테이크 촬영으로 계속 그 카메라가 한 무용수에서 다른 무용수로 이동하는 그런 촬영으로 뭔가 이 현장성을 조금 더 강조했던 그런 장면들도 있었다고 설명드리면 될 것 같아요.
So also in terms of our Beyond Black, we also questioned how we would take the reality into the film, how we could take the life performers into the film. So what we thought of is on actual stage, dancers have to fill up the stage, and the fact that they can't rest. To depict this kind of liveness through film, we chose to put in scenes that we filmed through one take methods, where one camera would move to one dancer and to the next dancer, which would create a kind of liveness also in the film as well.
I just add shortly, and I'm not sure that my comments is suitable for your question, but in Beyond Black, actually, I thought the filming can explore the principle of operation and the hidden part, like how AI do choreography. I think the filming can be more precise, and filming is available to approach the procedure and of the choreography. So I wanted to show more detail and more precisely, but honestly, I felt a little bit sorry about that. Our Beyond Black is not show too much of the procedure of the AI choreography itself. And I have another comment of the filming and stage performance of dancer and their movement. I think those two sections is quite different, and then the filming cannot show enough the liveness on stage, but as Changho already mentioned, and then the filming and the camera work can expand more the visual, the imagination. The stage itself, I mean, I'm not sure that maybe the filming has no limitation of imaginary thing, but stage itself has the space limitation. So, but the liveness is quite different. And then since Beyond Black, our company, the KNCDC, already produced over 10 filming, but through those procedure, and I always felt that the choreographer and the film director, and there are always kind of the very specific gap to understand the movement and the liveness of the body. So I think we need to try more about how we can close to each other.
Okay.
I
How did
don't
you?
know my answer is suitable.
No, that was great. How did you arrive at the name Beyond Black? Is there any significance behind that?
작품 제목이 비욘드 블랙이 된 계기가 궁금합니다. 어떤 특별한 이유가 있었는지.
네. 이 AI 환경이 도래할 그 미래의 삶이 우리가 예측할 수가 없잖아요. 그래서 예측할 수 없는 것을 건너가다 넘어선 도전, 그 도약이라는 그런 내용으로 비욘드 블랙으로 지어봤습니다.
So the future that the AI would bring us is unpredictable. I think it's unpredictable. So I think the title Beyond Black itself was an idea to go beyond the unknown concept, and maybe we can go beyond and make it a challenge of the unknown and the unpredictable future that the AI would bring us.
Final question to Gitanjali. So now, we are talking about the human motion. I mean, of course, you can extrapolate the human motion to any object, and that is obviously animation is a good medium for that. And can you imagine, Gitanjali, that this motion captured by sensors or chroma key or other devices, and with the use of a pool of motion, and with the use of a pool of images you have in mind or a drawing, do you think the motions can be transferred to these kind of images in an animation creation in the future?
Not, I would say not future, it is already being done. A lot of motion capture has happened more in the traditional way. And now it's going to be more in the modern way. However, for such a long time, what it has done is to impersonate a human form and put it onto a drawing or a 3D animated character. What artificial intelligence goes a step forward, where you don't need that human anymore to create the motion capture and put it onto your characters. I think that is wonderful, and that is the way to go, because here you're not limited again by that one person's movement and one person's acting. For someone like me, I can create AI from a number of people, let's say, to create the character and give life to my character. So I can enrich it in a way that goes away from one actor if I have the control for it. And I think this is the direction we will inevitably go. Even for an artist, artificial intelligence is, I don't feel trapped by it. I feel enriched by it, because it is something that we will still use in the way we want to use. So the control is going to be human. Therefore, I feel the emotions and everything, if you have the mastery to create it, something like artificial intelligence is going to give you one more tool to explore. That is, I think we have been doing it, and that is the way it is going to go, especially in video gaming. It's become so important. And this whole classical thing of the audience not being a part of the work is going to break. It's going to be more democratic. The audience will also become part of the artificial intelligence and will help in the creation. So you will have to lose the ego of the director, of an actor, and I feel it can be much more democratic, especially in dance.
On that positive note, thank you all so much for such an enriching discussion. And thank you, InKo. Thank you, Korean National Contemporary Dance Company. Thank you also for 𝐒𝐜𝐫𝐞𝐬 for bringing this to Indian audiences and audiences from any parts of the world. Thank you ever so much. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.